Because if you do advertising and you are putting a marketing plan or creative plan together and you're trying to put something that's based on like crafting something to what you think a consumer wants rather than doing something that is really true and authentic to the organization itself, it's going to fall flat.
Welcome to the Empowered Woman Podcast, the #1 show on visibility strategies for women entrepreneurs. If you want to get empowered to be seen, stand out on social media, stages, TV, and more to make an impact with your voice and business, you're in the right place. I'm so glad that you're here. My name is Marcia Spurk, and I'm your host, professional singer and visibility strategist. Welcome again, and let's dive into today's episode. Hi, Tracy. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
Yay, I'm super excited. Well, I love the name of your business. I love what it stands for, but I would love for you to introduce yourself and tell us who you are and what you do so we can get started.
Sure. Thanks so much. I'm Tracy Marlowe. I'm the CEO of Creative Noggin. We're actually an all-woman, purpose-driven marketing firm. We work with our clients to help them achieve their true vision and mission and vision. We work with organizations that are trying to make an impact in the world, and we help them to connect with and engage with their target markets.
That is amazing. Now, I love a good backstory. How did you get into this? And I will also ask about the choice of name because it's super fun.
I'll start with the name. The name I love. We are a 100% remote agency, and so the name is actually just basically you don't need a building. You just need a creative noggin to get you some good marketing. And so that's what we do is we hire really talented team members who all have very creative problem-solving noggins, and so that's really the origin of our name. And then the origin of the company, I was a career woman, very driven, growing in my career, and I was working at an agency full-time and working, crazy 60 plus hours a week, and I had a baby. And it stopped me in my tracks, and really my priorities had a big change at that time. And I realized that I needed something to change because I was, working until 10 o'clock at night, calling my husband, asking him to put the baby down. And I realized that I wanted to be a part of her life. I still wanted to have a career. I wanted to do work I felt proud of, but I also wanted to be a part of my baby's life, and she was growing and changing so quickly. So I, quit working at that agency, and I ended up starting this firm up. At the time, it was to really empower myself as a mother, to have my cake and eat it too, to be a mom, but also still do work that made me happy. And the lovely thing about it is as the company has grown and we have hired, it is really just, I think by the nature of the way that the company has evolved and stayed 100% remote, we've been able to offer that same freedom and flexibility to other women. That's who we've attracted and retained. And I think that's actually women do a really good job. We're used to juggling it all. And so women do great in that environment. And so I've been able to empower tons of other women to have that family first flexible environment and still do work that they're really proud of.
That is incredible. That is so cool that your need and your desire has now created this reality for so many other moms and women out there. Was your vision from the beginning to have it be all women, or did it kind of just happen?
It just kind of happened, to be honest with you. And I will say we have hired men, but our vision and our mission actually as a company, it's in print, is to empower smart, passionate women to enjoy their work and life. And so we hire men, they just have to embrace our vision. We donate 5% of our profits annually to causes that empower women. It is really like top to bottom a real core part of our essence and who we are.
That's awesome. And what do you think are the benefits of having, that you have noticed, an all-women organization so far, both for the growth of the business, but also for the clients that you're serving?
I think in one way, the fact that women, I think I've worked in companies where I think women were not necessarily able to show up as their whole self at work. A lot of women, most women are juggling a disproportionate share of household duties at home. And so a lot of them, need to take care of things during the workday. And I've seen in certain workplaces, there is consequences for trying to take care of personal duties during a workday. Whereas we really support women. And if somebody needs to go to a PTA meeting in the middle of the day, we trust them and allow them to say, hey, I got to run to this PTA meeting. I'm going to be a little long, but I came in a little early this morning and don't worry about it. It's covered. And we're just like, great. We support that and we're embracing that. And I think when women can show up as their whole true selves at work and also feel like everything's getting done, they work harder, they're happier, you have a lower turnover. So there's true benefits to our clients in that because they're working with people who are feeling really fulfilled at work. And we have really low turnover because of that. So there's some benefits to that. And the other reality is that research has shown that 85% of purchasing decisions or like the actual purchase decision and the influence in the purchase decision is made by women. So if you're trying to connect your business with women, who better to do your marketing than a team full of women? And the reality is, interestingly enough, 71% of advertising creative directors are men.
Wow.
So yeah, a lot of people don't realize that, but in America, that's the way it is. And so we do have a female creative director and obviously a lot of women on our team. So I think that really helps us to connect with female market.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Well, and speaking of, what is some of the work that you do? Do you help specific types of businesses or is it across different industries? And what is it that you help them with in terms of the branding and the marketing?
Most of our clients are in some form of service industry. It's all over the place, though. It's from healthcare. We have government agencies that we work with. We do we've done real estate. I guess that's really more of a product. We do more subdivision type real estate. But a lot of the entities that we deal with are not for profit and not necessarily charitable nonprofits, although we do work with some of those. We do a lot of like even travel and tourism, convention and visitor bureau, and a lot of the healthcare that we do is like county based or some sort or nonprofit. We've done nonprofit healthcare as well, and so we it's all over the board in terms of the type of experience that we have if you went to our website. But most of them are on some sort of a mission, and a lot of it is very purpose driven, mission driven. People who are trying to impact people, and a lot of times our clients have sort of difficult to reach target markets and traditional advertising for them. Even, most nonprofits have limited budgets. And so what we're really good at doing is finding, saying, okay, you're trying to reach this niche market rather than spending this expensive amount of money for TV, billboards, or whatever, where you're going to waste and reach a whole bunch of people you don't need to reach. We help them really narrow cast and reach specific markets in a more efficient and effective way. And then we help them come up with campaigns, creative campaigns that are very authentic so that it engages them throughout the entire customer journey.
And you use the word authentic a lot. It is a very important part of marketing and really to stand out. How do you make sure that these companies and these organizations are being authentic to their mission? What are some of the steps there to unearth that and make sure you showcase that?
I think really the most important step for us is we do a lot of research up front. And a lot of times I have had clients who are like, we just want to get to the creative part. They would just design something and make it pretty. Yeah. And it's so much more than that. Right. We really do our homework and do a lot of digging and spend a lot of time with our clients, just really finding out who they are at their core essence. Because if you do advertising and you are putting a marketing plan or creative plan together and you're trying to put something that's based on like crafting something to what you think a consumer wants rather than doing something that is really true and authentic to the organization itself, it's going to fall flat.
Right.
And you're not going to have repeat customers. It's going to be more expensive for you long term. So and it also really won't differentiate you from the clutter. There's so much clutter out there in terms of advertising messaging, and people are very leery and not very trustworthy of marketing to begin with. And so we find that when you have marketing that is really truly authentic, it does a better job of driving the needle and moving the needle and driving results, really. And so, and also retaining customers. And that's really one of the biggest things.
Yeah, I love that. Do you have a specific client story that comes to mind? I'm sure you have lots of them, but that you could share with us in terms of how you guys came in and created a big transformation that yielded big results, or anything that you want to share?
Yeah, we had a client who was it was basically like in New York City. It was they realized and recognized that a lot of the immigrant population there were not engaging with the healthcare system. They all would qualify for Medicaid, but they realized that it was really two sectors. There was the Chinese immigrants as well as the Caribbean, Hispanic, or the Spanish, like Latino communities that were coming in. Because of their own like cultures, and just they felt that the United States healthcare system was so overwhelming that they were waiting to the last minute to go to the hospital till they would become very critically ill, and then they would go to emergency rooms. And it was, they weren't just getting the basic healthcare that they needed. And what people didn't realize was that there were systems of healthcare providers that were right within their neighborhoods. So a lot of these were within the boroughs within New York.
Let me take a quick second to talk to you if you're serious about your visibility. If you really want to take your visibility to the next level, your business to the next level when it comes to visibility without hiring a PR agency, then you need to check out my More Visibility Mastermind. This is a 6-month container, an intimate container with 15 students max, where we get down and dirty with your business, in your business, and I help you really expand your reach. We look into your content strategy, into your speaking strategy, your networking strategy, and as a group or also at a VIP level, we really create a visibility strategy for you. Because here's the thing, if you don't have a solid visibility strategy, you are not helping as many people as you could with your gifts and with your expertise. So go on ahead in the link in the show notes and submit an application and get notified when the doors open next.
So we put together a campaign. We did research first to understand really what their pain points were and why they weren't engaging, and that a lot of it for them was cultural, but a lot of them was also worry that people would come, that people wouldn't speak their language. And so that was a big part of it for them, as they didn't realize that there were providers and doctors that were living right like a block away or within their neighborhoods, that all spoke their language, and so that could connect with them. And so we did campaigns that were specific to each of those different demographics. And it was really cool because we used real people in the ads, not people that looked like models, but it was actually people that looked like them and felt like them. And we did all the photography and whatnot within the community. So they were seeing, basically, it's like the people in the ads were almost as much. I mean, I almost feel like the star of the ads was the neighborhoods, because they were seeing these familiar parks and landmarks that they knew. And then we did it all in language so that they recognized and realized that there were providers that were all within their neighborhood. And it really did drive a great deal of engagement, and it really helped to make those people feel like healthcare was accessible for them, which I think is amazing. So
that's wonderful. Cool. That's I always like a good story. It sounds really fun too for you to be doing the research.
I love solving problems. I mean, I love that the work that we're doing is helping improve people's lives, and it's fun.
Yeah. Really. Well, for someone that's listening that may be thinking, well, maybe my business needs some help. maybe I should consider hiring an agency. I know you have a resource to help people decide if it's a fit, whether it be to work with you guys or with someone else. Can you tell us more about it?
I do. We have a cool article that we do that is on our website that has basically like 5 questions that you need to ask your marketing firm. And everybody, knows the basic questions that everybody wants to ask, like, well, tell us about your experience and what kind of work do you do? What are your services? But these are really 5 questions that sort of dig into the real questions that you need to ask a marketing firm that most people don't think about. And so I think that could be a helpful resource for people if they would like to go on and download that.
Yeah, make sure and have the link in the show notes too for the website and for the resource for people to check it out. Now, I do have a more like business building question for you because I'm sure there are women out there listening to us that are still working a career job, a corporate job, and are having similar feelings. I've had my child, or maybe they just want more freedom and they have ideas on how to create their business. What is your biggest piece of advice, especially based on the challenges that you have faced? Because challenge number 1 is making the decision, right, to leave and start something from scratch. That is super scary. But then to continue on is also tough. And now to hire people and to have people that depend on you as the CEO, right, and the big founder. Tell us more about how that has been and the lessons and your advice.
Okay. That's a lot of things, but let me see if I can hit them all. I want to make sure I hit all your points because they're good ones. Because I remember being there and making that first leap is so scary. My words of advice to that woman would be, don't be afraid. Believe in yourself. There is no reward without risk. If we don't take risks in our life, we will just stay in our little cocoon, in our little bubble, and nothing will ever change. And we'll have all these dreams that are unfulfilled. And realize too, that my other biggest thing to share with them is that you will fail. You just need to not be afraid to fail forward, because you will take risks, and some of them will pay off in big ways, but occasionally you're going to fall. And the thing that I would recommend for any woman or really any entrepreneur is find other women that are entrepreneurs. I know that most communities have different organizations like the National Association of Women Business Owners, and that can be a huge organization for women that are, just trying to get off the ground. It's an incredibly supportive organization, and they have a ton of different resources. But and if you know other women that are, leaders or that are business owners, a lot of times, they may not know that you have this idea cooking in your head. Sit down with them, take them to lunch, have coffee with them. Anybody that is a business owner, most of us are more than willing to provide our experience shares and to give you words of advice or to share resources. I think that that's one of the biggest things. I went it alone for many years. And I think that one of the things that helped me grow the most was once I started really plugging into those entrepreneurial communities and talking with other business owners, because the experience that they can share with you is just invaluable. Plus, they can save you a lot of hassle in terms of making mistakes or finding good resources. So I'd say getting plugged into community is one of the biggest things that I would advise. And just believing in yourself. And also the other thing is feeding your mind, reading as many books as you can, or doing Audible books, podcasts, just trying to continually grow and learn. That's been one of the biggest things for me.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite book or one book that you remember that really helped you as you were getting started, or that you think about?
I think one of the ones that just pops into my head, we are an EOS company. We run on EOS. So we'll say traction is one. Another one is who, not how. I think as business owners, a lot of times we're trying to figure out, I don't have the money. I need to figure out how to do all of these things by myself. I need some sort of a process. And you don't realize that just even hiring one person can be transformative, because we are not experts in every single thing, as much as some of us seem to think that we are. You know, once when you first start a business and you're wearing all the hats, a lot of times it's hard to let some of those things go. But once you get in, if you really want to grow, there comes a point where you have to let a lot of things go, and you have to hire other people that are maybe smarter and better at those things than you. And that's what I would also say, is hire people smarter than you.
Yes. That's great advice. Well, and it goes back to what you're saying. There is no reward without a risk, and hiring people is a risk too, right? Because it's you letting go of that control, but you can only grow if you're able to do that, which is not easy, but it's just different challenges as you move along.
Yeah. Somebody said to me one time, he said, there comes a point in every business owner's, life where they have to decide that if they want to grow, they're going to have to let go of some things and allow somebody else to do things within their company that they may do differently than you. And that is a hard thing for some people to like, oh, this is the way I do it. Sorry, but there's other ways to do it, and you may still get to the same end result. And sometimes it's hard for us to let those things go, but you just have to get to a point where in order to grow, you have to delegate and elevate and, really let a lot of stuff go and just trust.
Yeah. And I love hire people that are smarter than you.
Yes.
That is very,
I'm telling
very smart.
you.
I love that.
That was some of the best advice somebody gave to me, because I think a lot of times people want to be the smartest one in the room, but I definitely don't.
So true. You need that support. Oh my gosh, such great advice. Well, I think you already answered my $1 million question that I have that I saved for last, but I'll ask it anyway, see what you come up with, because I love hearing the answers. Every guest has a different answer. Well, Tracy, what is an empowered woman?
What is an empowered woman? I think an empowered woman to me is a woman who is feeling free to be her whole self. I think it's somebody that is a woman that is growing, that is surrounded by support, that is trusted, and that is able to be her full 100% true self and feel safe. I think that is one of the things for me that is really meaningful, and I think really empowering. And I think to me, we have to empower women. Women are nurturers. We are the ones who are taking care of everybody else. And when you empower one woman, you empower a community, because we are the ones that are, supporting parents and spouses and partners and children and nonprofits, and it goes on and on and on, all the exponential people that one woman will touch. And when you empower one woman, you can change the world. I really fully believe that.
Yeah, that is so true. Well, I love what you said. She's not afraid of being her whole self, which leads back to authenticity when we're talking about branding and marketing, and when you're talking about owning your own business as a woman. That's what it takes for you to stand out, right? Is owning all of you and showcasing that with the branding, and then hiring smarter people than you to create the branding, like an amazing agency such as yours. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us. This was lovely. Tell us how people can find you or connect with Creative Noggin as well. Give us all the goodies, and I'll make sure and put that in the show notes.
Sure. You can find me on our company website, Creative Noggin. That's noggin.com. And I'm also on LinkedIn. So that's another great way to connect with me. My name is Tracy Marlowe, TracyMarlowe. And you can find me easily on LinkedIn. And you could also email letstalk@creativenoggin.com and get a hold of me that way.
Sounds amazing. Well, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom. This was so great.
Thank you. I really enjoyed chatting with you. This was awesome. Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much for tuning in today. I hope this episode empowered you. And if you enjoyed the show, please join the Empowered Woman community on Facebook and share with friends, or leave a review on iTunes so more people can discover this empowering message. Until next time, bye.